Hi guys, this is Kesav Prasad and I am from Vishnu Institute of Technology at Bhimavaram. Today I would like to introduce a mini project based on linear regression. And by using this, we are also going to predict Boston housing prices. For this, first of all, we need to import some of the modules like NumPy and Pandas. NumPy is for arrays and Pandas is for data frames and Matplotlib is for plotting the graphs. And a key and major role of this concept is scikit-learn library. We have also imported Boston dataset from scikit-learn library and we also imported mean square error for finding the error and train test split for training and splitting the data and so on. Here we have 5 major steps. Here the step 1 is data preprocessing. In data preprocessing, we use it to load the Boston dataset into a variable name called Boston. And if we want to know the description of each attribute of the dataset, then we have a syntax called dataframe.descr as it gives the information of each attribute. As we can see here, CRIM refers to per capita crime rate by town and ZN index and so on. As the imported dataset is not in the series, so we need to change it into pandas data frame. And here I use it to append the pandas data frame into a variable name called features. If we want to find whether the dataset is consists of any null values or missing values, then we have a syntax called dataframe.isNull or isNull.sum, as it gives number of null values present in each column. Here we can see there are no null values present in this dataset. If we want to find or display any one of the column from the dataset, then we have a syntax called dataframe of column name. As we want to predict the Boston housing prices, so we need to store the target into other data frame called targets. As if we want to find the minimum and maximum prices of the houses in the present data, we have a syntax called max of data frame object of column name for minimum, min of data frame object of column name. As we want to find or predict the Boston housing prices, we need to concatenate the data frames into a single data frame. Here the features and targets are concatenated into single data frame by using a syntax called pd.concat of objects comma axis. Here if we didn't mention axis equal to 1, then it will take, by default it will take axis equal to 0, which means row wise. Here the describe method gives the statistical values of each column. Here mean of CRIM column is 3.61 and standard deviation is 8.60, and dot round of decimals to gives two decimals for each number. As we can see here, there are more than two decimals, here 4.967, but here it used to give two decimals. And now we use it to visualize the data, which is called as data visualization. Correlation. Correlation is a statistical technique that can show whether and how strongly pairs of variables of one column to the other column are related. Here calculate the correlation between each and every column of the data by using a syntax called dataframe.course of method. Here I use it to take a method called Pearson and appended it into core, and take the absolute values of correlations and append it into cores. And here I use it to take core and features and make it into a list of pairs and appended it into L, and then sort the list of pairs in the descending order with the correlation values as the key of sorting. And then I use it to unzip the pairs to two lists called cores, labels. And then I use it to plot the correlations of the target variables as bar graph using a syntax called plt dot bar of x comma height comma width. Here we can observe that from the bar graph, the LST, AT and RM are the two highest absolute correlation values. Now we use it to normalize the data. Normalize the data with min-max scalar. Here I use it to select two columns from the dataset, which are LSTAT and target, and appended those values into X and Y respectively. If we use it to see the Y values, it appears like this as an array. And before normalization, if we want to see 5 values of Y, we can check here before normalization. And the use of min-max scalar is it stores the values from 0 to 1. As after normalization, it shows the Y values as an array from 0 to 1 values. And after normalization, if we want to see 5 values of Y, it appears like this. Till now we have completed the step 1, and in step 2 we use it to define the error. For this, let us assume an example by generating n evenly spaced values from 0 radians to 2 pi radians. Let us assume n equal to 200 as 2 pi means 180. And here I used a NumPy library as np.linspace of start comma stop comma step. And here I use it to calculate sine values for each and every x value. And I have also plotted the sine wave. And in this I use it to add some noise. Here I use it to plot the noisy values, as we can see here in red color checks. And for this, if we want to find or calculate mean squared error using the equation, which means without any library, we have the formula called error value equal to 1 by n into sum of numpy dot power of target values minus predicted values comma 2. And if we want to calculate the mean squared error using function from the scikit-learn library, then we have a function called mean squared error of target values comma predicted values. Here we can observe that mean squared error are not very different from each other. They are similar from each other. And the step 3 is split the data. We use it to split the data using train test split, which is imported from the scikit-learn library. And the fourth step is building the model. In this step, the first part is error function. Error function is to calculate the cost function at the current position. And the parameters are current values of m and c, and x as attribute values and t as target values, as we can see here. And second function is update function. Update function is to calculate gradient at current position and update values of m and c. And the parameters are current values of m and c, and x as attribute values and t as target values, and learning rate. It is better to have a least learning rate or low learning rate, then we can get the prediction as accurately. And the next function is gradient descent function. If the error falls below the threshold, then the gradient function or the gradient descent process is stopped and the weights are returned. And the parameters are initial values of m and c, and attribute values as x and target values of t, learning rate and number of iterations, and error threshold. If you have any queries about these three functions, which are error function, update function, and gradient descent function, you can mail me, which is in the description. As we don't have much more time for explaining these all things. And here I use it to assign the values for initial values of MNC and learning rate as 0.001, which is very low, and iterations as 1000, and error threshold as 0.001. And here I use it to calculate the gradient descent for MC error values and MC values. Now we use it to visualize the error values. First of all, we use it to plot the regression line. This line is against the training dataset to visualize what the line looks like for the training dataset. And now I would like to visualize the regression line upon the training dataset using a scatter plot. And here I plotted for mx plus c as I took x value as x train, which I have trained previously here using an imported module train test split from the scikit-learn library. And second is plot the error values, which is the graph will show you how the error drops over time, gradually based on the time period. And now we have reached our destination, which is step 5, prediction of prices. Here we have already obtained the final values of M and C in step 4, as we have predicted here earlier, M, C, using gradient descent. And using these values we can obtain predictions for the values in the testing data. And now we use it to find the metrics for the data, which is root mean squared error or R2 score or something else, which we use it to choose depends upon the type of the data, whether it is categorical or continuous or something else. Now I use it to calculate the predictions on the test set as vectorized data as ypredict equal to mx plus c. Here I use it to take x as x test, as I use it to test set, and I would like to compute the mean squared error for the predicted values on the testing set as mean squared error of target values comma predicted values. And I use it to list the x comma target y and predicted y as a data frame, and I use it to append this data frame into p variable, and I use it to visualize here. And now I would like to plot a scatter plot. The plot predicted values against the target values, and here we can see a red line which is predicted values and blue dots as target values. Thanks for reviewing my project by spending some time. As I don't have much more time for submitting my project, I didn't explain in much more detailed way. If you have any queries based on this project, you can mail me or pin me, and feel free to ask your queries. And I am leaving my mail ID in the description box. Thank you. Have a nice day.